So it's like I think I know something, and then I realize like, fuck, I don't know that, or or maybe it's just a one layer deeper understanding of something, sometimes. But I woke up this morning after I had like a little semi bit of like a bit of a nightmare, a bit of it was a scary dream, yeah, but not extremely scary. And I yeah, and I've been like what like in Seja Popham's botanical constellations course through his evolutionary herbalism school, and so I was like talking about like medical astrology, and we just got into we're in the Gemini section of it because it's Gemini season, and like the signs are seasons, and that's a huge key for me to understand the signs. And then I was thinking like, so what if you're born in the southern hemisphere? So I don't actually know how that works. Like, what's your sign? Or like it should all be like reversed or something, right? Because Gemini is the end of spring, and therefore, if you're in the southern hemisphere, it should be the end of fall, I guess. Um, anyway, so but anyway, I was thinking about like materialism, and I think it's a Reggie, or I don't know who made this song, this like joke song about materialism. Joke, but I think it was meant with like truth or to maybe poke fun or something. But it's like I'm a materialist. I'm a materialist. Is just the chorus that I remember. But I've been realizing like through Seja, I got back into cinnamon again in a stronger way. And I'd been into cinnamon through Heiner Fruhauf, through his holding the lineage of the fire spirit school of Sichuan herbalism, uh, the pre Cultural Revolution Chinese medicine school, um, and so it's like okay, so I'm using cinnamon and also Sage is recommending magnesium for Gemini, um, for Gemini or for the disease states that are common with Gemini, the tissue states, the physical medicalist tissue states are just in general the health challenges that Gemini faces. Um, and so so which I think I have some of that, and wind tension and dryness and whatnot, and coldness, and so vata also, in other words, you could summarize it as, um, and so it's like okay, so if I'm not a materialist, what am I? Like I don't fully understand like what are the choices here? What on like the check the like the boxes to check? um am I a vitalist? I think yeah, I resonate with vitalism. As far as like, you know, when I was at Bastille, like I felt like that was the cool um the more intelligent, more wise, interesting philosophy or whatever. And Sage is a vitalist, and it's like, yeah, I'm a vitalist. Of course, I'm a vitalist. Like, I I I I question, stagnant science, but then like, but I love science. So like, yeah, there's just some like I don't fully like what is this world? What is reality? And you know, Vata, Gemini being the most Vata of all the air signs, um, um, can be like very ungrounded. Is the least grounded, likely the least grounded sign. And I mean, it's not like have Gemini for all my planets, um, but yeah, I'm Gemini sun. Um, so anyway, it's just like, oh, so even if I'm not a materialist, it's like I can still engage with the material world, right? So then this brings me to like Chagda Tulku. It's all intertwines. Um, Talking about like how medicine, um, how we willingly take poison, but we resist or we refuse. We don't take medicine. Um, and I think he was talking in that instance, I believe, about um, like maybe about the poisons of the mind, and the antidote to the poisons of the mind, like compassion and wisdom, and the practices that increase compassion and wisdom. um, we don't take, and yet we just keep taking this poison, like anger and ignorance, um, and blaming others, um, or maybe blaming in general, but blaming others. And yeah, and it's a similar thing, I think, with possibly with karma, like like the whole like karma is still relative reality. So like the materialism is like relative reality, maybe you could say. But and like so if I have bad karma, so if I have something painful happening in my life, I don't actually need to suffer from that. And if I can go beyond suffering through pain, like, say, for instance, Jesus on the cross, Maharaji said he did not experience pain. Now, I believe Maharaji, um, because Maharaji is Christ, is Hanuman, and the way he wasn't talking about historical Jesus. He was down. He was remembering, um, when he said things like that. Um, and He was in a meditative state when he was saying things like that, like channeling, or he was literally remembering. Yeah. And so like okay, you could say, oh, it was Jesus's bad karma, Christ's bad karma to be beaten and put on the cross and whatever. But if he didn't suffer through it, it either wasn't his bad karma, or he had transcended karma. So it's like transcending pleasure and pain, shame and blame. Like then you then karma becomes like a moot point or something like that. But until that point, you cannot ignore karma, and you cannot just do whatever the fuck you want to do and create all sorts of trouble for yourself, if you're still attached to relative reality. Um, and in the same way, this is what like Chagdatoku was also talking about separately, I think. was like was like, yeah, you might believe that, all form that the true nature of all form is emptiness, but that does but there's still like poison, and he was talking about physical poison, like, you know I don't know that he said an example, but like arsenic or cyanide or whatever. It's like you can't you can't eat that. There's like now I can't remember the line, but it was like, you're in kindergarten. you know you can't play with sharp knives when you're in kindergarten. Obviously there's uh, developmental, whatever, um, exceptions to that, or like in certain cultures where they actually treat kids like how they're supposed to be treated. But there's then 3-year-olds can be learning how to tend the fire because they've been around it, and they've been, anyway, whatever. So yeah, I don't know if it was 3-year-olds actually, but anyway. um yeah, so it's like, yeah, well, I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to eat poison. It's like Robert Svoboda, well, Vimalananda's guru, um was eating tobacco, and that's, I think, all he ate, and just like eating a whole tobacco leaf straight. And um and like, so what was the and then transmuting that, into nectar, right, through internal alchemy. So I believe, yes, all poisons are actually just food. It's just Shakti. And that's what the Guru Maharaj said. Junior Guru Maharaj said was that um, Robert Svoboda was saying this, that he said, it's a lot better to eat something poisonous like tobacco that has poisonous, therefore has a lot of Shakti, um, and then transform that poison into nectar through internal alchemy. Um, that's better than like eating all this food and then digesting all this food and then eliminating all this food, right? That's what he was saying. Um, but not everyone can just do that, or maybe you can, but um, there's like baby steps. So this is like the we're in kindergarten. It's like, okay, that's possible, and I still puke when I eat tobacco. So yeah. So yeah, I feel like it's like, oh, again, it's like, oh, okay, like maybe I do need to be learning medicine, learning herbs, but I don't need to just be taking it. But I can be taking an herb, like, it doesn't mean I'm a materialist because an herb is a material. It's like, well, an herb has a body, just like I have a body, but maybe I'm actually taking the spirit of the soul and then the soul of the plant as well, right? So I think about that, like, oh, like I might have a materialist. Someone can have a materialist view of cinnamon, like, oh, the cinnamic acid or whatever it is. Um, it's that's affecting this chemical, that chemical in the body, and um, yeah. So, but also it's like, well, the spirit of the plant is there's intelligence there, and anyway, so I think I'm done.